Part 56. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 552. Chapter 552, It's best not to use it. 4 more please customize. Yanhua pulled the cat-eared girl out of Yong'an building with a happy look on her face, taking a lot of animal skin clothes with her when she left. Although the wind and snow are not heavy now, it will be bad if the wind and snow get bigger in the next few days. Therefore, the two of them brought thicker and more clothes, and even wore scarves and animal skin hats, just in case. Tap tap tap. After the two went downstairs, they quickly found the person chosen by Wu. After conveying the order clearly, they got ready. A total of 3 ice sledges were prepared. In addition to the people from the Yanlong tribe, there were also seats reserved for the people from the Green Vine tribe. After all, people from their tribe still need to lead the way, so that people from other tribes will believe them when they see them. This time we must complete the task perfectly so that we can have other tasks to do next time, Yanhua said seriously. Niujiao Niang attaches great importance to this mission. In addition to wanting to have a mission to do next time, the most important thing is that she also wants to help the Yanlong tribe. Because this I went out once to attract more people to the Yanlong tribe, so this task is also crucial. That's right, in order for next year's tribe to become better and for us to stop having to go to other tribes to exchange things, we must succeed this time. Sha Yian's expression was also extremely serious. Cat Lady had a lot on her mind. She knew the importance of this mission even more, so after receiving this mission, her expression was always very serious. In addition to wanting to complete this mission well, there is another meaning, that is, worry. She is worried about what she will do if she screws up this mission. This is her first serious mission. No matter what, it must be completed perfectly. The shield given by the witch is really exquisite. The witch always has such good things. It's amazing. Yanhua hugged the shield tightly. The horned lady was extremely surprised when she received the shield. This was the first time she saw this thing. Of course she was no stranger to shields, because totem warriors sometimes also it will be used. For example, during training, wooden boards will be used instead of shields, or when going out and encountering wild beasts, one will pick up a wooden stake to act as a shield to resist attacks. Although this is the first time I have heard the word shield said, but after the explanation, I immediately understood the use of this thing. But the most important thing is the shape, material, and touch of this shield, which surprised the horn girl. It is perfect in all aspects. Yes, I don't know what this shield is made of, but it looks very hard and makes people feel safe. Shalan tapped the shield a few times with his knuckles, making a crisp sound. This shield is the intermediate assistance package issued by the previous system. It is a shield made of original adamantium alloy. In this primitive era almost nothing can destroy this shield, which is also the safest guarantee that Subai gives to the horn girls. With their skills and the protection of this shield, they can escape as long as the danger is not too desperate. You must use this shield if you have the chance. Yanhua is already a little impatient. But don't. It's better not to use this shield or not. If we can use it, we must be in danger. Are you stupid? Shalan gently knocked on the head of the horned girl. Although the cat-eared girl also wanted to use this shield and see what it looked like, her rationality told her not to use it when she left the tribe. To it? That's right. We'll see if Wu is willing to lend it to us next time we train. Let's give it a try then. What Yanhua said makes sense. Are you all ready? If you're ready, let's go. You asked, getting ready. The rabbit-eared girl was equipped with a lot of equipment. In addition to wearing a thick animal skin coat, she also carried many weapons, just in case. We are all set and ready to go. Yanhua said without hesitation. Set off, you said seriously, carefully walking ahead and leaving the Yanlong tribe. Tap tap tap. There were only 2 totem warriors and 2 reserve warriors on this trip, and the rest were gone. Originally, the mother of the cat-eared girl wanted to go with her, but she was persuaded by the cat-eared girl to protect the witch. Although she was worried about her daughter's safety, after all, the witch was more important, so there was nothing she could do. She gave the recurve bow to Shalan, and even handed the crocodile knife to him. The horned lady has also been assigned these weapons. After all, if she leaves the tribe, she still needs to be given weapons for self-defense. Woof woof woof. On the ice sledge by the river, those Alaskan sled dogs have been waiting for a long time. Ever since they experienced the feeling of running fast on the ice, they have been eager to try again. This time, only 6 of the 8 Alaskan dogs traveled, 2 of them pulling an ice sledge as before. After Yanhua and others carried all the food and weapons onto the ice sledge, they controlled the ice sledge and started to set off. Woof woof woof. Crunch, crunch. The ice sledge started running quickly under the pull of the Alaskan sled dogs, and everyone began to move towards the direction of the Green Vine tribe. Because the Alaskan Malamutes had previous experience, they ran even faster this time. In less than 10 minutes, the 3 ice sledges had completely left the river at the entrance of the Yanlong tribe. Yanhua sat on the ice sledge again. The excitement on her face did not diminish at all, she was still excited. This time she is controlling the ice sledge herself, so the feeling will be even more exciting. Sitting next to the horned girl is the cat-eared girl. She is also a little eager to try it. After all, who doesn't want to try such a fun means of transportation? You also operated an ice sledge alone and followed the cat-eared girl closely because she wanted to keep a close eye on these young preparatory warriors. Shifeng and Hechuan, on the other hand, were manipulating an ice sledge and were also following the other side of the cat-eared girl. After all, there are 2 preparatory warriors setting out this time. Although the strength of the 2 of them is considered to be the best among the preparatory warriors in the tribe, they are not totem warriors after all. There are many things that need to be paid attention to. After leaving the tribe, you must follow us closely, you warned. We understand, Yanhua and the 2 said in unison. 4th update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 553. Chapter 553, New Coping Methods. One more request for customization. Yuying stood by the window and watched the Niojiao girls leave, the worry on her face clearly visible. She knew it was more dangerous to go out during heavy snow and ice, so she stood there and watched for a long time. Don't worry, they will be fine, Subai comforted, sitting in front of the table making tea. The tea set was the latest Kung Fu tea set. It would be so comfortable to make hot tea during the snow and ice. Yu Ying turned around and walked slowly to the table. Worried Wu, I don't know what the other tribes in Da Bingxiu will be like, and I don't know if they are good to Sister Ahua. Fox-eared lady is more worried about whether they can eat well or sleep well. After all, they are not as good as other tribes after leaving the tribe. She feels that there should be no other tribe that can surpass the Yanlong tribe. Living in the Yanlong tribe is definitely the best. Life outside the tribe is definitely not as good as in the tribe, but they brought a lot of food with them, so they should be able to eat well, Subai said lightly. He asked the girls to bring a lot of food out, so that although the accommodation is not very good, the food will still be better. Hope they can come back safely. Yu Ying put her hands on her chest, the worry on her face did not fade at all. Don't think so much now, just wait for their good news and just believe them, Subai said. Of course he knew the danger of the big ice and snow, but instead of worrying so much, it would be better to believe in them. And everything that can be done has been done. The rest depends on their own strength, but the warriors who went out this time, their strength is pretty good, and there is a high probability that nothing will happen to them. Wu, let me prepare some afternoon tea for you. Yu Ying got up and prepared to go to the kitchen. Well, you go ahead and do your work. I'll discuss something with Coco. Subai nodded lightly and said. Tap tap tap. Crunch. Just when the fox-eared lady turned around to leave, the blonde girl opened the door to the room and looked at the wizard with her golden eyes blinking. "Woo, do you have any new tasks to assign to me?" Coco happened to hear it because she wanted to go out for a drink. Subai put down the teacup in his hand, raised his head and said, "I want you to help me make some poisons. These poisons must be very strong. This is the only way he has thought of in the past 2 days to help the tribe alleviate the danger, and that is to make poison. Then smear all the poison on the arrows, and then shoot the poison on the beasts through the arrows. This can greatly reduce the mobility of the ferocious beasts, which also provides opportunities for those warriors. Moreover, this can also greatly increase the accuracy of the explosion of the explosive packs. Otherwise, if the ferocious beasts move too fast, they will avoid those explosive packs. Explosion. But if their movement begins to slow down, they can control the explosion time of the explosive pack very well. Making poison? What does a witch want to do to make poison? Coco was stunned for a moment and continued, "If poison is used to kill prey, we will not be able to eat those prey." The first thing the blonde girl thought of was to use it to kill prey, but once the poison enters the prey's body, the poison will also spread out, so this is completely useless. It is used to hunt things, but not to eat, but to destroy, Subai said seriously. He naturally knew this, so he had no intention of eating those crazy ferocious beasts. Is Wu preparing for eternal night? Coco thought of this after being denied the idea. Well, be prepared in advance. If the iron ore is not found, all hope lies in these poisons, Subai said word by word. This was the last solution he could think of. Although he didn't have a musket, poison could also be of great help. Woo, I'll give it a try. Coco's expression became more serious, especially after getting this short haircut. The expression on her face looked even more resolute. The blonde girl is also very suitable for a short haircut. It can be said that her short hair is the best in the entire Yanlong tribe. Among the girls, they are all top-notch. None of the others with short hair are as good looking as her. I always feel like something is missing. It's not that they don't look good. Here are some information sheets, which contain some poison ratios. If you don't understand, you can ask me. Subai handed over the documents. In fact, the words written on them were not words, but just some drawings. After all, the blonde girl knew very few words now, and she would definitely not be able to understand them if they were written in words. So she gave them. The blonde girl drew the pattern, and each plant was drawn very clearly. Coco began to read the paper seriously, and said in surprise, "Which, do you need so many plants to make poison?" Those pieces of paper are all painted with plants, and there are not just a few plants in number. There are 5 or 6 kinds of plants on one piece of paper, let alone 6 of those pieces of paper. Well, all of these plants are poisonous. I don't know which poisons will be more toxic together, which ones will synthesize the toxins together, or some other things, so you need to go for these. Experimented, Subai explained. The patterns drawn on the paper were all what he saw in the book. That book is the Herbal Medicine Production Book. The Herbal Medicine Production Book not only draws some herbs, but also some herbs in the front and some herbs in the back. They are just some poisonous weeds, and the quantity is very large. Of course, these poisonous weeds can also be used as medicinal properties, but the extraction method is very troublesome. So Subai did not use these poisonous weeds to make medicine at all, although there are some. Some are in the greenhouse, but they have been kept in the greenhouse and have never been used. I understand that I will slowly test these and strive to make the most toxic poison. Coco's eyes were very determined. If nothing else, as long as she does these experiments, the blonde girl is very serious and happy to do these experiments. All these poisonous weeds are available in the greenhouse. If necessary, we will have them all picked and brought back to you. However, you must be careful during the experiment. Wear the mask and gloves I gave you, as well as the goggles Sudbai warned. Since the blonde girl started doing experiments, he has given her a lot of equipment one after another. Such as protective clothing, gloves, masks, etc. These can all be made by primitive tribes, although they are very large. Parts are made of animal skins and linen, but it's better than nothing at all. The goggles are the system assistance package that just came out, and they are also very good for protecting your eyes. Understand, I won't let you down, Coco nodded repeatedly. Please update for support and customization. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 554. Chapter 554, Recruiting New People. 2 more requests for customization. After Sudbai finished arranging the tasks for the blonde girl, he took out the drawings and continued planning. It was very busy before the big snow and ice arrived, so the tribe had many things to plan that were not planned. Now that I have some free time, I need to plan more for the development of the tribe. After all, we are going to develop towards the city, and we definitely can't stop now. Although the Yanlong tribe is already several steps ahead of other tribes, it must continue to develop, otherwise the current state alone will not last long. Swish swish. Sudbai held the quill in his hand and kept walking back and forth on the paper, making crisp rustling sounds. Pillar-like objects kept appearing on the wolf's tail paper, and all of these pillars appeared on both sides of the avenue. It must be a little higher, otherwise it won't be able to illuminate the tribe at all, Sudbai murmured to himself. Yes, these pillars are street lamps. Every time he thought about the tribe being dark and numb at night, he felt a little uncomfortable. Before the big ice and snow came, there were still you can put the fire pot outside, but after the heavy ice and snow arrives, the only lighting tool for the tribe is the fire pit inside the house. But now there are relatively few windows in the houses, unlike the high-rise buildings on the earth that are all made of transparent glass, so the light is also very weak. And it cannot be made so big. Although the cement houses are concentrated in the middle, they cannot illuminate the entire tribe. Although you can see things clearly in the room, you can see everything once you leave the room. I don't know. I can only go outside with a torch, but when there is heavy ice and snow or the rainy season comes, there is no way. The torch will be extinguished as soon as it is taken out of the room. And the distribution distance must be reasonable, otherwise some places will be dark and some will be bright. Sudbai shook the quill in his hand. What he wanted to do was to make the tribe brighter at night, so that everyone would not go out at night. During the period of heavy ice and snow, the day is very short, and the night it is very long. If there is no lighting at night, the day will be wasted. Originally, the day is very short, but in the end, it takes up 2/3 of the time at night, so there is no need to do anything. After solving the problem of appearance and distance, we need to solve the problem of wind and rain protection, Sudbai continued to mutter to himself. After all, there is no power supply in this era, so there can be no such things as light bulbs. The street lamps at that time will definitely be replaced by kerosene lamps, that is, this lamp will be placed on the street lamp on the top. Therefore, we must consider the issue of wind and rain protection, otherwise it will be extinguished by heavy snow as soon as we put it up. You can use glass to block wind and rain, so that the glass can also refract the light inside. Sudbai thought of a suitable solution. What he thought was similar to the street lamps on the other side of the earth. But the light bulb inside was replaced by a kerosene lamp. After thinking of this, he presented his idea on the drawing. Ready to be made by masons and glass workshops. After all, street lamps must be strong. If wood is used, the stability will not be so strong, and it can easily cause fire. Therefore, the material of street lamps must be selected. Stone will do. Anyway, we are not building a house now. We can just let the people in the masonry workshop make pillars out of cement. Then let the people in the glass workshop produce some pieces of glass, and then inlay them in the street lamps. On top. At that time, just pour a flat plate on the street lamp, wait until the cement is not dry, and then put the pieces of glass on it. When the cement is dry, the glass pieces are stabilized. Then add 4 pieces, put the slate on the glass piece, and you can make a simple street lamp. It's just that this wastes a lot of cement, but using kerosene can also save a lot of firewood. This can be regarded as a positive and negative offset, Subai said softly. Because the fire pots were used one after another, those fire pots always had to be added with wood, which was a waste of wood. If calculated this way, the number would be in the hundreds. Subai kept tapping his index finger on the table. This is not a small amount. It would take several days to complete. Xiao, take these to the people in the stonemasonry and glass workshops, and ask them to focus on making these things in the past 2 days, Subai shouted at the top of her lungs, because the fox-eared girl was in the kitchen. Originally, these matters would have been handled by the cat-eared girl, but since the other party is not here now, she can only let the fox-eared girl take her place. Tap tap tap. Yuying immediately walked out, took the drawings and nodded. Okay, I'll go right away. Be careful when you go out, the snow outside seems to be getting heavier and heavier, Subai warned. Clear, Yuying said softly, feeling warm in her heart, and ran out, jumping up and down. Subai looked at Huir's leaving figure and murmured to himself, we should recruit more maids. He always felt that it would be too troublesome and tiring for them to do such small things now. Because once they leave, no one can do anything if they want to give instructions. And every time there are many small things, they have to do everything themselves. They are their own shrine maidens. It is a bit disrespectful to do such trivial things all the time. It really should be mentioned on a daily basis, Subai thought to himself, and sat back down to prepare to write the recruitment conditions. Although the maid only needs to serve tea and water, wash clothes, and do some miscellaneous things. But it also depends on the other person's character and ability to act. These are all required. Only those who are qualified can be recruited. Otherwise, it will be a bit troublesome to recruit some lazy people or people who do things recklessly. Not only will these people not be able to do things well, but they will make things worse. First of all, the height and age must be appropriate, and the second is personal mobility, Subai murmured while writing on the paper. The reason why he wants the height to be suitable is because many things in Yong'an building are placed relatively high, and there are some shelves that are also relatively high. If height is an advantage, it can still cleaning. The age-appropriate aspect is that we want to recruit some people who are not too old, who are younger, more diligent, and less scheming. Look, as soon as Xiao left, there was no one again. Subai finished writing the conditions but found that there was no one he could call upon. Except for Xiao Yu and others, there were no other women around him, and the people standing at the door were only preparatory soldiers. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 555. Chapter 555, back to what it was before. 3 more please customize. Yuying hurriedly returned to Yong'an building and took off her cloak, which was still covered with a lot of snowflakes. Although I went out wearing a cape, hat, and umbrella, the wind and snow were very strong, so I still got a little bit of it on my body. Quickly pat it off and drink some hot water, otherwise you will catch a cold later, Subai said softly. He saw that the other person's little face was turning red from the cold, but it still did not affect the other person's appearance. Yes, Yuying held a cup of hot water and continued, Wu, you have given them your drawings. Well, now it's just a matter of waiting for them to make those things, Subai nodded. He still believed in the efficiency of these 2 workshops. No matter what, they should be able to produce these things within 3 or 4 days. They are talking about this time, and they also said that if it is produced by then They will tell you as soon as possible, Yu Ying said immediately. Thank you for your hard work. After you take a break, you can help me read this information, Subai said with satisfaction. Every time he saw the fox-eared girl running around, he felt a little tired. In normal times, forget it, but now during the heavy snow and ice, running around like this is still a bit tiring. Material? Wu, did you just write something else? Yu Ying asked doubtfully. How long had she just left, and there was a new piece of information right away. It seems that there is not so much leisure during this period of snow and ice. There are still many things to be busy with. But so does the fox-eared lady. I prefer to be so busy, otherwise I would stay in the room every day and not know what to do, and the weather is so cold, I can only watch the snowflakes falling all over the sky. Well, I'll find some helpers for you so that you don't have to work too hard. Subai smiled slightly, thinking that the other party would be more touched. Yu Ying was stunned for a moment, then opened her pink eyes wide, and said in shock, Wu, do you think we are not good enough? If we do not do well, we will definitely change it. The first thing that fox-eared girl thought about was whether she had done something bad. Otherwise, why would Wu want to find someone new? She kept thinking about whether she had done something bad before, and what moment caused her to fail. Wu thinks so. No, you have always done a good job, but you are doing too well and I see that you are a little tired, so I have assigned some new people to you, Subai explained. He didn't expect that the other party still thought this way, and for a moment he saw the other party's previous appearance again. He originally thought that the fox-eared lady had not been frightened for a long time, and she also looked obviously more lively. But I didn't expect that at this moment, the other party would change back to his previous appearance, but I couldn't blame the other party. After all, he was not a very safe person in the first place. Wu, we are not tired at all, we can do better, we don't need new people. Yu Ying is still worried about being replaced. She has gradually gotten used to the feeling of staying in Yong'an building. If she is replaced at this time, she will definitely be sad. What's more, she is also used to staying with Wu, so I never dared to imagine that this day would happen, but I was a little scared just now. Ha ha ha, Subai smiled heartily, not expecting the other party to be so scared, and comforted him. Don't worry, you are still following me, but the people I am looking for are working outside and will not come into the living room. He could only explain it to the fox-eared lady quickly, otherwise the other party would have to think about it for who knows how long. Yu Ying's worried expression suddenly stopped. No, it should be said that she was stunned. She kept wagging her pink foxtail and asked why are these people outside? What the fox-eared lady didn't understand was that she recruited these people and let them stay outside. If they don't come in to do things, so why recruit? You can do the things inside, no one else is needed at all, but let them do some outside work. If you are asked to do it, I suddenly want to find someone to help me with something. Can't find it? Subai looked at the other party seriously and continued, so these people recruited are mainly responsible for some things I arrange for them to do outside, or do some cleaning work. He explained it to fox-eared girl more carefully, but he was worried that the other party might misunderstand it. So that's what I thought. Yu Ying suddenly began to have a smile on her face. A big stone fell in the heart of fox-eared girl instantly, as long as she knew that these people were not replacing her. So stop thinking about it and see what needs to be improved, Subai said gently. After all, he didn't know much about the people of this tribe, and he didn't know how many of the conditions he proposed could be met, so he just wanted to see what other people's opinions were. Yu Ying immediately grinned. Walked over and asked what conditions did you put forward? Just some, Subai stated the conditions on the paper one by one. There were not many, just the few before. There are many people who meet these conditions, and there will definitely be many people applying by then, Yu Ying said without hesitation after listening. In the eyes of the tribe, there are a lot of people who are suitable for these conditions. It can be said that there are 2 or 3 suitable people out of 10 people. That's good, but I'm worried about whether these conditions will be too harsh, Sudbai said assuredly. After all, the requirements for hard work, height, age, etc. written on the conditions are relatively strict. Because this is to recruit people to work in Yong'an building, not just to do something casually, so the backgrounds of these people must be investigated clearly. There are many things in Yong'an building that other tribes do not have, and there are also many things that even the Yanlong tribe does not know. These things cannot be known to other people for the time being. Therefore, they are recruited. Those people must be strict with their mouths, and they must be reliable. Otherwise, after recruiting these people will expose all their secrets. Wu, leave this matter to me. I have met many people. They all meet these conditions and will definitely be very loyal, Yu Ying vowed. There is nothing else about Fox Ear Girl, but she is very popular. Because she is a nice person, many people are willing to make friends with her. Although she was a bit introverted before, it is precisely because of this that many people feel that she doesn't have any scheming. Everyone is willing to play with her. Okay, I'll leave this to you, Sudbai nodded and said. Third update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 556. Chapter 556, Breakthrough. For more, please customize. Sudbai blinked his black eyes and continued to think about the next development. There were still many things to do. He shook the quill in his hand and murmured to himself, after solving the problem of lighting at night, we have to consider other issues. The development of the tribe is still relatively slow overall, and there are still many areas that need improvement. Although I have various ideas in my heart, it is still a bit difficult to realize such ideas in the primitive era. So, if you want to develop now, you must also consider how to proceed based on the current conditions. The basic necessities of life, including housing and food, are pretty much the same now. The real changes will have to wait until next time. What needs to be considered is transportation and clothing. Bai thought to himself, tapping his index finger on the table, and murmured to himself, we must also think about their clothing. As for transportation, besides carriages, we must have other means of transportation. It can be said that he has all kinds of wild ideas now, but he has to filter out some based on the current situation, because sometimes although the ideas are good, they are difficult to complete. Although he wants to make the tribe change, it will be better, but due to the limitations of conditions, we can only make some subtractions, which means that some things that cannot be realized must be changed. The final thing may not be that good, but it will always be better than now. The clothing issue is the shortcoming, which can be clearly seen during heavy ice and snow. Sudbai frowned and thought. When the big ice and snow comes, he will start to distribute some animal skins to each household. And animal skins are relatively precious things, unlike linen, which can be made in large quantities as long as you find rami. Linen and animal skins can only be obtained after hunting prey, and only large prey. For some small prey, such as hares and wild foxes, these can only be used to make small gloves. Thinking of any top or skirt, a large area of animal skin is needed. Often one person has to use the hide of an entire big beast. That's not to mention the whole family. There were even more animal skins. Although before the heavy ice and snow arrived, a lot of prey was hunted by hot air balloons. But it was also very nervous when distributing the animal skins. Although everyone could mostly get one, this was still, it completely relies on the credit of the hot air balloon. It would be even more unimaginable without the hot air balloon. Therefore, the Yanlong tribe also needs to solve the problem of clothing. It doesn't matter in the summer. Everyone can wear linen or not wear it, but in big ice and snow won't do it. It seems that after this heavy snow and ice, we will need to accumulate more animal skins, but this will not work in the long run, and we will have to find other substitutes. Sudbai murmured to himself. Although he was living in a primitive forest and could obtain animal skins by hunting wild beasts, this was not a long-term solution. What's more, he planned to turn the tribe into a city. In the future, food and other they are all self-sufficient, so there is definitely no need to go out and take risks to hunt. Then if you don't hunt, there will be no source of animal skins, so what will happen then? So this is a problem that must be solved. The alternative is nothing more than cotton or polyester, and then filling it with some goose down or wool, but this should not be possible in the primitive era. Subai just thought of a way and fell into trouble again. In the original era, it was not easy to make these things by yourself. It required a lot of materials and tools, and it might not be possible to do it. At that time, we should only be able to think of solutions on linen. Today's linen has good breathability and will be more comfortable to wear in summer, but it will be drafty in winter. You should choose some airtight fabrics to make down jackets. Subai took a quill pen and wrote back and forth on the drawing, preparing to plan the next development, and continued to mutter, it's time for the people in the linen workshop to start experiments, and strive to survive during this period of ice and snow. Let's see if we can make a breakthrough. He put his hope in the workshop, thinking about writing some experimental methods first, and then letting them operate it. When he saw it, he could make airtight fabric, so that the wool could be stuffed inside and sewn into a down jacket, which would be very warm. Although the cloak is also very warm, it consumes more fabric. It is difficult for ordinary people to do things with a cloak. Therefore, the down jacket is the most convenient. As long as you put it on, you can do your own thing without worrying about the cloak swinging around. Go. This will take a long time, and the next step is about travel. Subai was talking to himself in the living room. He was thinking that since there was a carriage in the tribe, there would be no problem with the actions within the tribe. The problem was what to do if he left the tribe, although he was currently developing and manufacturing ships. But it's just the beginning. But apart from the big river, the people of the previous tribes had no connection with the big river. The most important thing was the forest. In other words, the intersection between tribes. If they had been relying on climbing mountains, wading in the water is a waste of time and very dangerous. If there is a fixed route between the rain and the rain, then this route is built into a road, so that the two tribes can be reached quickly by horse-drawn carriage. Subai thought of this. He shook his head as soon as he thought of this, thinking that other tribes would definitely not be willing to contribute efforts and supplies. Everyone just wanted to wait and enjoy the benefits. What's more, they would definitely not be optimistic about this kind of thing. Yes, so there is definitely no way to discuss it directly with them. We need to think of some other ways. This also requires careful planning. It seems that developing a tribe is really not an easy task. Subai pursed his lips. He shook the quill in his hand and prepared to think about other things. After all, the two things he just thought about need to be done slowly, so there is no need to be too anxious. Let's prepare to deal with Yong's affairs, and wait to see how the outpost beside the wooden wall is being built. Subai put down his quill. He didn't have so many clues at the moment, so he just wanted to go out for a walk first. He got up and stretched his body before getting ready to change clothes. Tap tap tap. Subai put on a cloak, thick snow boots, and a scarf and prepared to leave Yong'an building. Wu, where are you going? Yu Ying asked curiously. The fox-eared lady just came back from outside. Come on, come with me for a walk outside. Subai took the fox-eared lady's hand and came down. Fourth update, please support and customize. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 557. Chapter 557, Universal Things. One more please customize. Tap tap tap. Subai stepped away from Yong'an building and walked on the swept road, his black eyes looking up at the flying snow in the sky. After watching for a while, he lowered his head and looked ahead, and said softly, "There are still no people coming out. There are not many people coming out of the Yanlong tribe now, but it's not like there is no one at all. There was no one there before, everyone was hiding at home and didn't want to go out. But since someone cleared the snow, people from the tribe have come out one after another. Even though there is nothing to do, they still come out. Woo, more people will come out slowly," Yu Ying said immediately. She was convinced of this. After all, when she went from Yong'an building to the greenhouse recently, people greeted her one after another along the way. This had not happened before. Since after my mother became a witch, her status in the tribe suddenly rose. Everyone respected her very much. Everyone would say hello to her when they saw her, and would even give her the little meat from home. However, the fox-eared lady refuses. Naturally, she is very happy when someone greets her, but she cannot use her current status to ask for other people's food. The tribe still needs to develop well so that more people can come out, Subai said lightly. He felt that no one in the tribe came out because there was nothing to do. Everyone could just hide at home and rest. There was no need to go out in this weather. But if the tribe develops very well, there is no need. No matter what, those people will definitely come out. The few people who come out of the tribe now are all going to the barbecue restaurant. Yes, the Yanlong tribe's Great Ice and Snow Age barbecue restaurant is also open. Although it was not accessible in the primitive era currency, but there are still a lot of things that can be exchanged. Originally, you can do tribes in Dabbing Monitor, but there are no stores. Of course, the only barbecue restaurant will be open. This is also a trial first, in order to open more in the future. Prepare for the store. With the lessons learned from this barbecue restaurant, the stores in the future will open better and better. Woo, although it's snowing now, there are many people in the barbecue restaurant, Yu Ying said in surprise. She originally thought that the barbecue restaurant would be closed during the big ice and snow period, but she didn't ask to keep it open. She was not optimistic about it at first. Although she knew that these barbecues were delicious, she didn't expect that they would attract people. That's it when there are so many people. By this time next year, more stores will be opened, and then there will be more people, Subai said with a smile. When he thought about this, he also thought about other things. He thought that he had to find a currency. If he only relied on barter for things like this, it would not have any impact on the development of the tribe. Very good. Although it can bring back a lot of things to the Yanlong tribe, the development speed is indeed very slow. But with the currency, everything will be different. Wu, what are you thinking about? Yu Ying saw that Wu was suddenly in a daze. No, I was thinking about some coins, so that we don't have to exchange things with others all the time, Subai smiled and said. Coin? Wu, what are coins? Yu Ying said doubtfully. It is a common currency that can be used to buy things, so that you don't have to exchange meat for other people's linen. This will take some time, and you will know when the time comes, Subai said lightly. We don't have to worry about this now. We need to make a big plan. After all, this currency must be recognized by other tribes. From this point of view, it is more difficult. Let everyone suddenly use it for no reason. It's a bit awkward to use coins to buy things after you get them, so it still takes a long time. Good. Although Yu Ying still doesn't understand what it is, she is looking forward to it. Because every time she hears some new words, some good things will be derived. So Fox Ear Girl believes that this time the coin will definitely be a very good one. Good things, just wait slowly. How's the greenhouse going lately? Is there anything different? Subai asked. He originally wanted to go over and take a look, but now the most important thing is to deal with the wooden wall first. And he hasn't been to the wooden shed recently. The daily plant growth technique is all about the wooden wall. Apply it on those plant seeds. Because previous experiments have proved that the plant growth technique also has a great effect on plant seeds. There is no difference between applying it directly on the grown crops and applying it directly on the seeds. So you don't have to go back and forth every day. It's the same as using the woodshed directly on the seeds, and then letting those people put the seeds in. Another experiment is the growth rate of the seeds produced by the crops that have been subjected to the plant growth technique. This experiment was also successful. But the experimental results were not as good as he thought. Yes, the growth rate of these seeds will be faster than the seeds of crops that have not used plant growth techniques, but not as fast. So I thought of another experiment: use the plant growth spell on these seeds again, wait until they are planted and harvested, and then leave some seeds to see how fast the seeds that have been cast twice have the growth rate. All the crops are growing very well, as are the herbs and flowers. The temperature inside the wooden shed is very high, and the heavy ice and snow outside has no impact on them at all, Yu Ying said in surprise. The fox-eared lady originally thought that this wooden shed was only useful in the rainy season, but she didn't expect that it would be so good for heavy ice and snow. The sharp contrast between the snowflakes in the sky outside and the plants inside the wooden shed is like it seems that the snowflakes outside have no effect on them at all. They are still growing vigorously, and they are getting better and better. They look green and very appetizing. That's fine. As long as the crops are mature, they are harvested immediately and the second batch can be planted later, Subai ordered. Since the plant growth technique was introduced, the crops in the wooden shed are almost harvested every 7 or 8 days. This must not have been like this before. Even if it was faster before, it would take half a month. Understand, there are still some crops that can be harvested tomorrow, Yu Ying nodded and said. She is now very happy to run to the wooden shed. She feels very good looking at the green crops every day. How could this be possible before? Before, she only ate those extremely hard meats. It tastes terrible. Where can I find fresh vegetables? Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 558. Chapter 558, Feeling Hot All Over. 2 more requests for customization. Subai and the others came to the wooden wall under the protection of the soldiers. At this moment, there were soldiers patrolling the edge of the tribe. In addition to spears, each of them also held a recurve bow, and a crocodile knife hung on his waist. These 3 weapons are all just in case, and people are patrolling them 24 hours a day from morning to night. Which, when the patrolling soldiers saw the witch queen, they all stood in awe, stopped and stood up straight. Thank you for your hard work. I can eat more meat when I go back tonight, Subai nodded with satisfaction. He saw that all those people were very serious, whether they were walking or doing anything, they were straight and there was never any perfunctory behavior. This is what we should do, the soldiers shouted again in unison, very happy to hear the witch's personal condolences. Subai said lightly, looking up at the position above the wooden wall. The original wooden wall was just rows of wood erected. But now, in order to prepare for the eternal night, people have reinforced this row of wood walls. Originally, they were lined up one by one. Now there are several large wooden heads standing behind this row of wooden walls. Those logs are in a triangular shape to support the row of wooden walls. In order to make this row of walls, it is stronger. Moreover, the outpost is to be built on this row of wooden walls, so it is even more necessary to make this wall stronger. Woo, the outposts above have all been set up. Yu Ying glanced around. She often took time to come here to look at it. In addition to keeping an eye on the construction of the outpost, she also wanted to see the progress of time. There are many more than I expected. Subai also looked up. He found that the outposts were very close to each other, and there were connections between each outpost. In other words, each outpost was connected and you could walk there directly. These operations he didn't order everyone to do it before, which meant that everyone did it voluntarily, which made him very satisfied. Yes, this is a little different from the design you gave me, but I think this is good, Yu Ying said immediately, thinking that Wu was dissatisfied. Well, this is indeed a good thing, so that the various outposts can still be related to each other, and they can help each other when the time comes, Subai said softly. This is indeed very good. At that time, he only thought about relying on this outpost to repel the ferocious beasts, and did not think about the relationship between the outposts. After all, this outpost is after the eternal night. If they were to be demolished, all they would have to build were stone walls, so he didn't think too much about it. Moreover, he wanted to build these outposts in a short time, but he didn't expect that they would be built in a short time. And also added a lot of good things. Wu, I wonder how Sister Ahua and the others are doing, Yu Ying suddenly said. The fox-eared girl is still very worried about the safety of the horned girls. After all, everywhere in the ice and snow is dangerous. Don't worry too much, just follow me and take a look inside the wooden shed. Subai took the fox-eared girl's hand and left. He didn't want to think so much at this time, he could only believe in them with all his heart. Yes, Yu Ying nodded, and her little face immediately turned red again. This was the second time today that she was held by the hand. When she just left Yong'an building and was held by the hand, her little face was also very red, and she felt that her heartbeat began to speed up. What's wrong? Are you feeling uncomfortable? Why do your hands feel so hot? Subai stopped and turned around, reaching out his hand to cover the other person's forehead. No, I'm just happy. Yu Ying immediately lowered her head in shyness. Because she was very shy, her whole body felt a little hot. This is a unique characteristic of the fox-eared girl. Others blush and feel hot when they are shy, but her whole body felt hot, just like a fox-eared girl. Warm baby. I thought you had a fever, what's the matter? So happy all of a sudden. Subai's thick black eyebrows raised slightly. This was the first time he knew that the fox-eared girl would get hot all over when she was happy. Why didn't he know this before? And she never blushed before. Yu Ying did not speak, but continued to lower her head, but her pink eyes kept looking at that hand. Subai followed the other person's gaze and looked over, saw that he was holding her hand, and then saw the fox-eared girl blushing and looking happy, and instantly knew why the other person was like this. He couldn't help but laugh a little and said, so that's it, isn't this normal? Anyway, he felt that it was nothing, he was just holding the other person's hand, and he didn't do anything extraordinary. Yes, this is normal, Yu Ying, you immediately nodded along with the words, but still didn't dare to raise your head. Subai didn't say anything more, but took the other person's hand and continued walking. At this time, everyone had a tacit feeling. Tap tap tap. Half an hour later, the two arrived inside the wooden shed. As soon as they opened the door, overwhelming heat swept over them. This feeling would definitely be too hot in the summer, but it is extremely comfortable during this period of heavy ice and snow. The plants appear to be doing well. Subai glanced around and found that these plants were bigger than he thought. At first, he was still worried that the wooden shed would not be of much use during the big ice and snow period. After all, the big ice and snow of primitive tribes did not come from that other side of the earth. It can be compared in winter. Of course, he didn't think that these wooden sheds would be completely useless. Maybe they were just a little less effective. He just didn't expect that they would be fully utilized now. And they were much better than imagined. Every plant is growing green, as if spring has just arrived. Wu's woodshed is really amazing, we have never eaten anything green during the heavy snow and ice. Yu Ying still couldn't help but sigh. Although she had seen the power of this wooden shed during the rainy season, it was different from the big ice and snow. Although she came to this wooden shed every day to pick crops. But every time when I see it, I still can't help but sigh, it's so magical here, it's like being in a garden. The other wooden sheds should be good too, right? Subai squatted down to observe a big cabbage. Yes, the crops in every wooden shed are growing very well, and they are even better than usual, Yu Ying said immediately. She is quite busy every morning. In addition to going to each wooden shed to take a look, she also has to arrange for people to care for, weed, or harvest crops. Go back and pick some tomatoes, and we'll make something else. Subai suddenly had an idea. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 559. Chapter 559, The Die of the Sun, 3 more, please customize. After Subai and others left the wooden shed, they returned to Yongan building. They also brought back a lot of tomatoes. What else can you do with these tomatoes besides eating them? Yu Ying asked curiously. She didn't know why she suddenly had to bring so many tomatoes. There were a lot of tomatoes stored in Yongan building before. If you want to eat, those tomatoes are enough. Why do you need to bring them again? Why pick so many? Let your clothes be dyed, Subai said with a smile. This was something he suddenly thought of. He had seen relevant videos and books on the earth before, and people in ancient times had dyed their clothes with tomatoes. Want to dye your clothes? Yu Ying wondered if her ears had heard it wrong. Many people in the tribe had this idea before. They crushed some plants and pasted them on the animal skins. For this reason, they wanted to make the animal skins have different colors. But often this is a one-time thing. After a while, all these colors will disappear. In more serious cases, it will cause skin ulcers or red spots. Although tribal people have the idea of loving beauty from the beginning, there's no way to implement it. It's not like they haven't thought of using the kind of pigments used before tribal ceremonies, but most of them are made of animal blood. The color disappears after a while, and the smell is it stinks. So this plan was never really implemented, and it was aborted at the beginning. Yes, don't you want a little more color in your burlap? Subai asked with a smile. Of course I want to, but it shouldn't be possible, right? Yu Ying was a little doubtful. Seeing the other party's decision, she continued to wonder, Wu, are you going to use these tomatoes? The fox-eared lady felt that this was not a joke, otherwise she would not have brought so many tomatoes back for no reason. And after bringing these tomatoes, the first thing she said was to dye the clothes. It is difficult not to think of the two. Think of it? Well, just use these tomatoes for dyeing, Subai nodded. On the other side of the earth, persimmons were dyed in ancient times, but they all used persimmons. However, in primitive times, no wild fruits related to persimmons were found, but Subai found that tomatoes can be used as well. Although tomatoes and persimmons are two different things, he found that the tomatoes in the primitive era were very similar to the persimmons on the other side of the earth, not in terms of taste, but in terms of dyeing characteristics. This was also what he discovered one day by chance. I found that after accidentally sticking tomato juice to my body, I found that the area could not be washed off after a few days, but the color was surprisingly beautiful. So I thought about whether I could recreate the technology of the earth in the primitive era, that is, Kaikism. With tomatoes, Yu Ying's pink eyes widened with disbelief on her face. Well, take all these tomatoes, wash them, crush them all and squeeze out the juice, Subai arranged. I don't know whether it will be successful or not, but you will definitely know after trying it. What's more, all the tomatoes that were fried this time are blue-red, and the dyed ones may be very ugly. Success. Yes, although Yu Ying was still in shock, she still followed the instructions and washed all the tomatoes. After the fox-eared lady washed all the tomatoes, she put them in a wooden basin, and finally followed the instructions, juice all the tomatoes. Wu, what should we do next? Yu Ying is very curious about what the next steps will be like. Pack them all up and wait 20 days before proceeding, Subai ordered. The persimmon dyeing on the earth side is like this. The purpose is to let the juice start to ferment. In this way, the cloth will be easier to color. On the earth side, persimmon dyeing is also called the dye of the sun. The name is still very nice. But in the primitive era, the dye of the sun is not related to tomatoes, because the difference is that persimmons contain rich tannins. This is the source of the astringency when we eat persimmons. This component is more likely to oxidize under light and play a role in color development, so it is called sun dye. Although tomatoes do not have this ingredient, the degree of coloring is the same, but the color may not be preserved as long. I won't try it. How do you know it all at once? Do you have to wait so long? Do we have to wait until these things are fermented? Yu Ying used the vocabulary she learned last time. Well, just let it ferment, and then you can better carry out the next step. Subai nodded, but he didn't expect that the other party would quickly apply what he had learned. I see. Yu Ying nodded, hugged the ball of tomato juice and put it in the corner. Go and get some other fruits. Aren't there a lot of wild fruits grown in the wooden shed? And I picked a lot of them before the big snow and ice arrived, so let's make a pot of them all as we did just now. Su Bai blinked his black eyes and continued. Try these kinds of fruits together, and you can always find the most suitable one. There were no pigments in primitive times. The best pigment was the juice of these fruits, which was also the best material for dyeing. But we don't know which one is the best for dyeing linen, and we don't know which one has the best color retention. The temperature is the longest, and all these can only be known through experiments. Anyway, we have already started to do it. Why not just take out all the fruits and test them once? It won't take long, we have to wait more than 20 days anyway, and then we can unify them. Just experiment. Got it, then I'll get it, Yu Ying said immediately. Third update, please support and customize. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 560. Chapter 560, The Girl Who Talks Endlessly. For more, please customize. After Alu returned to the tribe, he came to his grandpa's wooden house without saying a word. The expression on her face clearly showed that she was still a little unsatisfied, and she reluctantly left the Yanlong tribe 2 days ago. When I left, I looked back 3 times. I wanted to stay there for a little longer. If I wasn't worried about the tribal people, I really wanted to stay there until the ice and snow was over. Wu, the Yanlong tribe is really a very good tribe, Alu said without hesitation. This is what she can feel when she stays in the Yanlong tribe these days. All of this is experienced by herself, but it is different from what she hears. Why do you feel that after you went there for a few days, you almost became a member of the Yanlong tribe? Wu Luhan frowned. He wondered how his granddaughter had been brainwashed by the other party, and she actually said such things when she came back. Although her granddaughter is a little more playful, she will never be like this. Unstable. What I said is true. I lived there for several days and saw this with my own eyes. Alu's expression was very serious. Because she knew that her grandpa must not believe it, otherwise he would never say such a thing. Although she also knew that what she said sounded exaggerated and seemed very unbelievable, but this is indeed all from the truth, absolutely not a single word is adulterated. Then tell me what's so good about their tribe? Except for that China, Wu Luhan said directly. Anyway, in his eyes, only this porcelain is the most attractive in the Yanlong tribe, and there is a high probability that there is nothing else. Can you believe you can eat green plants during the snow and ice? Alu directly asked the other party a question. This was the most shocking point for her in the Yanlong tribe. When she saw green vegetables on the dining table, she felt bad all over. The heavy ice and snow were everywhere. How is it possible to see green plants in the white snow? What's more, these green plants are brought to the table. This is the most incredible. The most terrible thing is that these green plants taste very good, and they taste good. The taste is no worse than meat. Green plants? We can usually eat it, but it's not available in Dabing Xiu. You don't know this. Wu Luhan didn't know what his granddaughter meant by asking this question. But you can eat these green plants in the Yanlong tribe. Olu's expression became serious. Now she is a little afraid to recall the scenes of that day, especially the green vegetables on the table. After eating them, she felt so happy. What? You said the Yanlong tribe has these green plants? How can this be? This is impossible during heavy snow and ice. Wu Luhan is still very sure. But his heart has been shaken a little, which can be seen more or less from the expression on his face. Because his granddaughter doesn't understand it yet? It's one thing to love to play, but she would never lie. The certainty in her words and her firm expression further proved that she was not lying. This is true, their tribe really has it, and I personally tasted it, so it can't be fake. Alu said firmly. She only remembered that she was shocked when she saw it and felt bad all over. She originally thought that these were just meat that looked like green plants, but after eating it, she found that it was different from meat. Completely two different things. After asking, I found out that these were real green plants, and they also had a strange name, called vegetables. She also remembered one thing. Anyway, it was very unimaginable at the time. The plate of vegetables has been cleaned. How could the Yanlong tribe have green plants? How is this done? Did they say where they got it? Wu Luzheng was curious. You have to know how happy it is to be able to eat green plants during the heavy snow and ice. He has long been tired of eating that kind of meat every day. So he wants to know how those green plants are made. Come, this way we can also improve the food for the Green Vine tribe. I asked, but they said they couldn't tell us this, and they also said that these were specialties of their tribe and only their tribe had them. Alu said regretfully. When she ate these plants, she must have asked, but the answer she got was no. What if we exchanged things with them? Is it possible to replace the green plants? Wu Luhan was already a little uneasy. You have to know how hungry people are when there is only one kind of food during the ice and snow period, and then there is another kind of food. I also asked about this, but they were still unwilling. They said that they might be able to change with us when there is heavy snow and ice next year. Alu waved her hand and said. When she knew that there was no way to change, she ate those green vegetables more happily. After all, she still had to eat more if she didn't have to change. It's such a shame, it would be nice if I could get some back. Wula was regretting. He now completely believed his granddaughter's words. Just this light green plant showed that the Yanlong tribe was not simple. After all, being able to have green plants when the sky was full of ice and snow was not far behind other tribes. Several streets. Not only that, there is no snow in the Yanlong tribe, everything is very smooth, and there are also carriages. Alu recalled the scenes of staying there. That feeling was so comfortable. If she could live in the Yanlong tribe for a long time, the girl would definitely be willing to do so. Carriage? What is this? Wu Luzheng said doubtfully. It is something that can pull us along. Those of us sitting on it can move forward without walking, and the speed is very fast, Alu explained with excitement. When the girl talks about the Yanlong tribe, she talks endlessly, as if that tribe is her tribe. There is such a good thing? Are they willing to change this? What Wu Luhan was thinking about was to replace this thing. I also asked my grandfather about this, but they were also unwilling to change it. Alu still shook her head. When she saw something good, she immediately thought about whether she could exchange it for it. It seems that I have to find time to take a look. Wu Luhan was a little moved by what he said. Grandpa must live in one of those stone houses. That house is incomparable to a wooden house, Alu said immediately after hearing this. Stone house, Wu Luzheng said doubtfully. That is, Alu started talking non-stop again. Fourth update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 561. Chapter 561, The Chosen Son. One more please customize. Woof woof woof. Crunch, crunch. The three ice sledges were moving quickly on the ice, and there were several long scratches on the ice. Wherever the ice plow has climbed, fine ice fragments fly up, forming a beautiful landscape on the spacious river. Yanhua and others were moving forward quickly. It was the afternoon when they left the Green Vine tribe. They stayed in the Green Vine tribe for one night, and the experience was very bad. I didn't sleep well at all last night. Shalan kept pinching her neck, feeling as if her neck was stiff. She felt uncomfortable for a long time. She felt pretty good when she lived in the Yanlong tribe. Of course, that was after Subai came to the tribe. That's why it was uncomfortable to sleep before he came to the tribe. But before Subai came, he slept normally. He never felt uncomfortable or anything. It's just that he tried well. After using something, you will feel a little uncomfortable when you return to the previous state. As the saying goes, from simple to luxurious and easy, from luxurious to simple, as long as people who have tried good things are not willing to learn the kind of life before going back. Not to mention that the Yanlong tribe is so good. They are very comfortable in food, clothing, and sleeping place every day. Of course it is uncomfortable to go back to the previous feeling. What's more, it's so cold when you sleep at night. Who says it isn't? I feel pain all over my back now. Yanhua rolled her eyes. Niojiao Niang had a very uncomfortable sleep last night. She tossed and turned all over and couldn't fall asleep. It could be said that she kept her eyes open until dawn, and her red eyes kept looking at the top of the wooden house. This morning when I got up, my whole back felt like it had been beaten. Although it's not impossible to sleep, it's still too cold. If it wasn't so cold, I could still sleep. Shalan and the others are not the kind of pampered people. They can still sleep in the same environment as before. But the biggest problem is that it is too cold, and the animal skins they cover them with are very thin, and the cold wind can easily escape from the wooden house. It poured in from the side. It was like going back to the time when there was no Subai in the Yanlong tribe, and there were no stone houses. It seems that our tribe is the best, at least it won't be cold when sleeping at night, Yanhua said. It was obvious that he had just left the Yanlong tribe for 2 days, and he began to miss it a little. But the good thing is that we brought food, so the food is not too bad. Shalan said thankfully. What cat-ear girl ate last night was canned food, and it tasted very good. It was better than eating those dried meats in their tribe. And the Green Vine tribe might not treat them well. After all, there were a few more people. We need to share more food. Food is very important during the ice and snow period, and they will definitely not be happy if they have to share more with others for no reason. So the cat-eared girls are also very conscious, and they also bring their own food this time, except because they don't want to look at other people's faces. In addition, I also don't want to eat those unpalatable foods. Although I say that I also eat that kind of food, after all, it is a bit difficult to eat delicious food again after I am used to it. Hurry up and complete the mission, and then let's go back to the Yanlong tribe. Yanhua said. Although she wanted to come out to play before, but after she came out, she found that the tribe was very good, and now she wants to go back. That's right, we can go back in a few days. Shalan blinked her blue eyes. The cat-eared girl swung her cattail and began to look forward to it. It was clear that the task was not completed yet, so she began to think about going back. I don't know what the environment is like in other tribes. Is this our first time going out? Yanhua asked. The Niojiao girls have never left other tribes. They almost always stay in the Yanlong tribe. Even if they do, they only go out to the forest to experience. The farthest place they have been is the tribe's hunting ground. But at that time I also went with the tribesmen. Haven't you been to the spotted deer tribe before? This is your second time, and this is my first time, so I don't know what other tribes will be like. Shalan said softly. Although Cat Ear Girl also wants to see what other tribes are like, what she wants most now is to go back to the Yanlong tribe. Although there are many things to be busy with when you go back, and you have to train every day, but this feeling is also very good. After all, after practicing for a day, you can still eat hot food when you return to Yong'an building, and sleep on a very comfortable bed at night. This is also a good enjoyment. In short, you have worked hard and gained something. Well, it's not like the other tribes that go out now where they sleep so cold at night and have to be tired the next day. That's right, the spotted deer tribe all have wooden houses, which look decent, so they shouldn't have a hard time in this big ice and snow, Yanhua said. Niojiao Niang had this feeling when she saw the spotted deer tribe. At that time, she felt that this tribe was really big and they would definitely not have to worry about food, drink, and clothing. At that time, it was because the Yanlong tribe was in the stage of development. In many aspects, they haven't been perfected yet, so she will be a little envious. But it's different now. Now the Yanlong tribe has developed to a point where although it's not very good, it's better than any other tribe. She only likes the Yanlong tribe now. Why are there so few tribes in the Green Vine tribe? Why not build more wooden houses when the big ice and snow island arrives? Shalan said in confusion. Because Cat Ear Girl saw that many people in the Green Vine tribe lived in tents, and it was already very cold to sleep in wooden houses, let alone tents. After the heavy snow and ice, there is a high probability that many people living in tents will die. Most of them will starve to death or freeze to death. Maybe they were busy hunting. After all, the big snow and ice was coming, and they didn't have the manpower to build wooden houses. They all wanted to stock up on some food quickly, Yanhua guessed. This is the only reason that makes sense, otherwise the people of the tribe would not be able to watch those people freeze to death. Even if you are busy hunting, you still have to think about them. If so many people die in the tribe, how will the tribe develop? Shalan didn't understand this kind of behavior. Now she suddenly felt that Subai was so good, considering both the development of the tribe and the people of the tribe. He was really the chosen one. This alone is better than any other tribe. If they don't make it, they should all feel ashamed. They are different from our witches. We are lucky to meet witches, but they are not as lucky as us, Yanhua said. Please update for support and customization.